Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the Netflix series first season of This Is Pop. And this is a docuseries that takes us through the history of pop music. And I don't know if it was just me or I feel like this bounces all around in terms of what it's presenting and stuff like that. But one of my biggest criticisms, it's a bit messy in terms of the narrative it's trying to portray. It doesn't go in order. It doesn't try to portray the history of pop music, but each of these episodes does offer something interesting in terms of a very specific aspect or time period of pop music. And this is from creators Del Cowie did a lot of the research here, but we get to hear from all kinds of people like Ludwig Göransson and T-Pain and Hozier and all the members of Boyz II Men. Nick Lachey was on there because this first episode, it's not setting up chronologically, but the first episode I feel really captures a good thread in terms of pop music because it talks about Boyz II Men and what they set up and how really they laid the groundwork for late 90s into the early 2000s boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and 98 Degrees. And I really appreciate how each of these episodes really takes a nice dive into a very particular aspect of pop music, and you hear it from them. You hear it from these people as long as they're still alive and kicking, and people that are around them and connected to them. I think it's very honest and interesting insight into each of these aspects. Now, some of them are more interesting than others. I did really enjoy this first episode focusing on Boyz II Men. You had there's a quote-unquote Stockholm episode that really opened up the door with Europop and ABBA, and I appreciated that one. You have British pop music, the British Invasion, and going all the way back to the early time of pop music in the 50s and 60s. Now, I wish this was a little bit more focused and had some kind of main through besides just general pop music, but I did find it very interesting. It dove into the use of auto-tuning and because it's not just let's focus on a particular act or a particular country that kind of shaped pop music, but also specific things like auto-tuning, and of course they had Cher. If you want to hear some of my thoughts and some of my friends' thoughts on Cher and auto-tuning, and specifically the song Believe, you can go check out our Development Hell podcast episode of Moonstruck. But this series, I think, if you're into music, I think this is an interesting dive to take. It's right there. It's 8 episodes. They're 40-something minutes a piece. So worth a watch, worth a stream, worth a dive. There's 8 episodes for this season, and I hope that there's more to come. It's not the most insightful and dynamic docuseries about music that I've seen, but it's an interesting one, so I'd recommend. But those are my thoughts on Netflix's Season 1 of This Is Pop. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.